Afternoon.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
It's all right. For some people, it's still morning.
It is.
In
our fans
industry.
out in California still waking up from last night's, there was a big baseball game.
Sure.
Welcome to another edition of This Week in Baltimore Eating. With me, Richard Gorelick. My usual co-host, Amanda's not here today, and you recognize who is here? It's Chef Jerry Pellegrino. Welcome.
Oh, always a pleasure, man, to sit around and chat.
We talked briefly on the elevator ride up to the third floor.
We were both very on time for this project.
We were. So typical.
Running up the steps in elevator. Got it.
It's like CrossFit, man. And I said to you, you look really happy.
I am. Life is grand. Is
Yes.
the best way I can describe
And
it.
it's grand, you said.
Because I don't own restaurants anymore.
Yeah. Man, that's huge.
It's
a huge lifestyle change, not owning restaurants.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, trust me, the 20 years was some great times. But it's, I don't think people understand that, being a restaurateur, it's not really a job. It's a lifestyle. It's 80 hours a week, 365 weeks a year. I missed cousins' weddings. I'm like aunts and uncles' funerals. I'm like, you should come. I'm like, you want to get married on a Monday? I'm in. But, Saturday,
You just can't do it.
scratch it,
It always felt like if everyone showed up for the shift on time, then a piece of equipment would break.
Yeah, no. There's, and it always breaks on Saturday. It never breaks on Tuesday, ever. It really doesn't. I don't know where that comes from. But, man, you learn how to fix things. I learned to climb up on the roof at one of the restaurants and replace the belt on the hood fan because once the hood fan goes down, it's a mess. So I'd get up there and do it myself.
Can't.
Yeah, especially
because you have to.
You got to, and you can't wait. Even if you could pay the emergency fees for the plumbers and the guys to show up on a Saturday, you really can't even wait. It's got to get fixed in 10, 15 minutes so service continues. And that's part of but that's like part of the job and the fun,
And that's part. And then there are things completely out of your control, like of having a fully booked restaurant and having a thunderstorm or just bad weather.
Oh yeah, forget it. Or how about the transformer blows or the water main in the street blows, which are all common occurrences in Baltimore.
They're not
like
uncommon at all.
I mean, we would lose power in Federal Hill every summer when it got really hot because there's too much of a load on the transformers and something would blow.
Didn't even think about that. Federal Hill's overloaded.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention changing taste and shifting tides. All of that stuff makes being a restaurateur a really rough job. But you said there were it was worth it.
Yeah. But it was very interesting that I did watch it change over time.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I mean, and I don't want to sound super cynical, but quite frankly, in 1997 when I opened Corks, people came to restaurants because they wanted to have fun. They walked in the room, they were excited. They wanted to dine and hang out with their friends and get fed and be cared for. And over the years, I watched the guest come into the restaurant wanting to find something wrong, wanting to write a Yelp review, wanting to, it's a complete change of attitude over the last 20 years of why people come out to eat. And it really is troublesome in a lot of ways.
That hurts my stomach. It hurts because...
I mean, that's what I love about Schola, because people come in now wanting to have fun, and it's just lovely. No matter what goes down, it's just lovely, because they want to be there and they want to have fun.
Let's pivot to Schola, because that's what you're doing now. Let's tell people what Schola is.
Schola is this sort of hands-on experiential cooking school that we have right in the heart of Mount Vernon. Mm-hmm. It's a lovely space. We're at 916 North Charles Street, which is a great
people picture the original Schola space.
We were there for 3 years, which was one block up. We were Grand Central's neighbor.
Right.
Like right next to Grand Central. And we literally just across the street and south the block to, now we're one of my favorite Indian restaurants, Nepal House's neighbor. Every time I go out the back door, all that exhaust fan of Indian spices blows in my face, and I get hungry every time I walk out the door. But
the Elvis of Kathmandu, right?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yes, and his wife is lovely, and he's a super cool dude. I mean, I love chatting with him. Yeah,
we're talking about the owners of Nepal House, and he is a musician, the owner, and has been referred to as the Elvis.
I call him the John Denver, but same thing.
John, I like John Denver
no,
better,
I understand.
man.
He's a super cool guy, and the food's amazing. So we're their neighbors, and it's basically hands-on. You wander into a class, we throw an apron on you. It is BYOB, so people bring wine or beer or cocktail, whatever they want, and We usually spend between 45 minutes and an hour cooking together, like preparing whatever the theme of the class is. We have 250 plus different classes that we teach.
250?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole series of techniques classes which you focus on learning to bake bread, to make pasta, to make sausage, knife skills. We have regional cuisines that span the world. We have a classic chef series where we really honor people that we think who've made grand changes in the culinary world.
Oh, can we name some of them?
Julia Child, Marcella Hazan, Eric Repair, David Chang, John Currents, And with that night, please don't think they're there, folks. They're not showing up, especially Julia Child. Sometimes, I mean, but we honored them by preparing like their signature dishes that sort of define their sort of cuisine and how they sort of think about food, which is a ton of fun.
Let's start dropping in the website into our conversation. What is it?
It's www.scholacooks.com.
Schola, S-C-H-O-L-A.
Which is the Latin root for school. I stole that right out of Webster's dictionary.
Got it. And sometimes that works.
No, man. That's actually the hardest thing is naming a project.
Yes.
You have a concept and you know what you want to do, but getting the name is really, really hard. Usually it comes late night, way after you're above 0.08, when you want to really figure out what you're doing. But that's the hardest thing is to name it because it's going to live with you forever.
Yeah.
You can change the concept, but it's really hard to change the name once you put it out there.
Well, you had Corks, which is a great name.
Good Corks.
Back in the
that
day.
was fun.
That was a good name.
That one we found just by thumbing through the back of a wine book, like looking at the glossary and looking at words and saying, hey, that's cool.
Sometimes we'll have fun on Facebook talking about some of the worst named Baltimore restaurants. And you can't make too big of a mistake these days because people have to be able to find you by Googling you.
Right.
So you can't name yourself Three. There was a restaurant called Three.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't really work.
It's not going to go well. Not on that will not be on the top of the search for Three. Nope.
It won't be.
You're going to have to scroll down a lot.
We talked about knife skills. I'm always intrigued by that because I'm not a very adroit person.
Yeah.
And so I think I could benefit from a knife skills class.
I mean, a lot of the focus on that class is actually caring for and sharpening and understanding, what a knife really is. Obviously, the most important tool of any chef in the kitchen, something we use daily. And I think most people don't keep their knives sharp. No. They don't care for them the right way, and they're focused on sort of these high-end brands, which is not necessarily important. The most expensive knife that's dull is useless compared to the cheapest knife that's sharp.
Well, but I'm going to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Cheapest, or you don't want to spend $10. You want to spend.
I mean, not to get too dorky, but it's about the metal. Right? Okay, and so that's really what it's about. I mean, yes, there's the cosmetic handle thing, but the real deal is the metal. And what you might not know is that when you look at a sharpened blade, it looks smooth, but microscopically it's serrated. It's microserrated. Just like a big serrated knife, these guys are wigglies. When you chop, they bend.
Ah.
When you use a honing steel, you bend them back.
Oh.
But like a paper clip, the more you bend it, they will break off. And then you need to go to a steel, an honest something, that stone or something to remove metal to resharpen it. The stronger metals can take more bends before they get dull. The cheaper knives that are softer metal just get dull faster. They just need to be sharpened more often, which removes metal. So with a cheap knife, you may start with a chef's knife and end up with a boning knife by the time you continually sharpen it. But you can just throw it out and buy another one, and it's sharp again. I mean, it's like this weird dichotomy of what do you want? Do you want to give them to your kids? Or do you just want to have a sharp knife to cook with and just use it?
I mean, if you know you don't take care of things well anyway, you might want to go for the cheap one.
Of course. But like I said, they cut just as well as the expensive one. They just don't last as long.
But we're encouraging people to take care of their knives.
I think so, man. It's like I said, it's the most important tool you have. And somebody told me this a long time ago. Food will never dull your knife. It's the other things you do with it. Cutting tomato will never dull your knife.
What will just
cutting that tomato on your granite counter? Because once you start bending those little micro serrations, they're coming off. The tomato will never take it off. Throwing it in the drawer with the other knives and it's banging up against the back of it, putting it in the dishwasher where the dishwashers these days, they have sand in the dishwashing detergent.
What?
Like you can put them away in dirty and they come clean.
Right.
That's because they bounce like sandblast them in this detergent. It's very it's aggressive in terms of getting food off. Well, that's bouncing off the blade of your knife too and causing that dull. So, caring for it is important. Just keep it clean and in its own little sheath in the drawer. You're fine.
This has been great.
Yeah.
I love that.
But we do that in knife skills. We sharpen people's knives. We show them how to sharpen knives. We show them how to cut things. Because, like I said, you can't really start a dish these days unless you're buying some of those pre-made things, which are fine. Those Blue Apron. I mean, it all kind of comes to you. But you got to start by cutting something. I don't know any dish that you'll start making that doesn't require.
And people want to be comfortable cutting too.
Of course they should. It could be a big time-consuming thing if you're not prolific at it.
Do you know, I have to make a confession.
Yeah.
To this day, I have to look at an onion twice before I start cutting it.
Yeah. Or just pull out the smart chopper. Remember that? You just bang it and it just chops up.
Yeah. But I never know which way to go into an onion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that comes from cooking a lot.
I tell them, you're not going to be fast today. You're going to be fast if you practice. It's not like something that just comes.
So Schola, the typical number of people that come in for a class is?
We range from a dozen to 26. It's
and
not a lot, but
sometimes you're meeting strangers, but sometimes I guess people come in make a reservation.
Yeah, we're teaching 7 to 10 classes a week, and about 50% of them are private.
Okay.
Which means that someone's it's a birthday, it's a corporate thing, it's an anniversary, or just a bunch of a family that wants to get together and cook. The other half, you go on the website, you purchase a ticket, you sign up, and then you do come and meet about 20 other people.
And I know that your co-owner is
Amy. Yeah.
And
Amy Von Lang, she's awesome.
And the two of you, did it start out with just the two of you as the teachers, and you have more people, or just the two of you now?
We still are the only two that
Wow.
teach. We teach all the classes every time. Yeah, we haven't ventured into that. We've talked about having some guests come in, local chefs to do things. We just haven't figured out the best way to do that. So we're real comfortable teaching the classes ourselves.
I didn't expect that answer. I thought, that's great.
No,
that makes it more of it's like your home, and people know what to expect.
It is. I mean, I think it's. I don't think a lot of the people who come there are really interested that much in learning how to cook. There is a small amount. Just like, I don't know what the number is these days. 80% of the people who watch the Food Network don't cook. They want the experience. And what we really provide. And actually, I was shocked that the Baltimore Business Journal named us, 2 of the 50 most influential Marylanders last year, because what we're doing is every night influencing 24 people to come together as a group and to become friends and to stand around and cook together and then sit and share a meal at a table. And to me, that's the cool thing about Schola is people walk in the first 20 minutes, they're a little awkward, but by the end of the night, they're planning on seeing each other again. They're hugging. They're high-fiving. And to me, that's what we really do. Yeah, you're going to learn how to cook, but you're going to really get an experience of being in a community with a bunch of people who like the same thing that you do.
That's what every, I think, episode of Anthony Bourdain shows was
sure.
about. Ultimately, it was about sharing
course.
Meals.
Yes, and that's kind of really makes me happy. By the end of the day, there's 24 people at the same table chatting, exchanging views, and they are all from very different backgrounds, both economic and social. We have a very, very interesting mix of people every class.
I just talked. We haven't really talked, except on the way up here, about La Cuchara and what a great
Ben,
place
and
that
I
is.
love Ben. Yeah, and I love Minnow too. By the way, I think it's awesome.
But what places remind you of the good old days of Corks, where people really do go to have good meals? And
I think that one of Baltimore's riches is the small family-owned ethnic places. We go to this place called Bibelos on Light Street. To me, it's one of the best. Lebanese, and Sammy and Hala are 2 of the sweetest people. And you go once, and you go the second time in your family. They will welcome you. We don't see menus anymore. I mean, I love those people. Same across the street, Brindali. I mean, Pedro, this is a little Italian joint. I call it Jersey Italian. It's red sauce. And he's the sweetest man in the world. I mean, I love the fact that he's doing what he's doing. And those types of places, just like Nepal House, the owners are always there. The people are there. They're family-oriented. We have so many of those in the city. It just it warms my heart when I go to them.
So it does still exist. And
oh, yeah, of course it does.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And what people just not need to, but we want people to go out more and share meals. And
that would be my biggest rant and rave about the current situation in Baltimore in terms of the restaurant scene. People ask me all the time, and my God's honest answer, it's better than it's ever been. There's so many cool people doing really good things. There's nobody out there to eat in these places. We need more people to live in the city and to get into this city to support the cool things that people are doing, because every time we open a restaurant, a new one, we slice the pie smaller, and somebody's gonna sort of get weeded out in the end. When Corks opened in '97, we had 1 million people in the city, and there were like 10 of us. Now we have 600 people, and there's like 100 of them.
Yeah,
that's a tough bunch of math to do. You know what I mean? So I love these guys. I'm proud of everyone doing all the cool things they're doing. But I just feel for them when I walk into a restaurant on a Tuesday and there's only 2 tables full.
It just makes you wonder. It's changed. It has changed a lot. How are we doing, Glenn? Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we need to talk about? Anything else that you came in wanting to talk about?
Just how great Baltimore can be, but I wish it would get its act together.
Anything the city can do to help people out?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's bring people downtown or bring people to. I mean, look at all this amazing construction going on. Buildings being put up everywhere, apartment buildings, beautiful ones. I mean, my neighborhood, Federal Hill, is becoming glamorous. Like the cross street market's going to be super high end. Right across the street from the market, there's this bicycle building going up. It's apartments. You've got Anthem House, you've got Banner Hill, you've got the place on the other side of Harbor Court.
I mean, if everyone opens with a new restaurant, though, that's what we're talking about, right?
But if we can, I don't know who's going to live in these places.
Right.
That would be cool. I'd love to see the city kind of pull it all together and get that going.
Heard my friend Ryan Jetter posted today, went to a liquor board meeting. The old Sasha's location on Charles Street is having someone move in there. That's a big plus for Mount Vernon.
Oh yeah,
we need someone.
When we lost Sasha's, that was a big loss for Mount Vernon. There's no doubt. Those are one of the cool lunch spots.
It's a beautiful space for that arts neighborhood where Peabody and the Walters are.
And you've got the Elephant. I mean, those guys are trying to really do the right thing. I mean, I think I love all the things they're doing, from the high-end dinner to the Tuesday burger night to Thursday live jazz. I mean, I think those guys have really sort of stepped it up too in the hood. It makes me happy. I mean, I love City Cafe. I mean, we got Indochine, Minato. Yeah. We've got all these. I think Kunai Thai is the best Thai food in the city.
It's really it's good.
I just love going to eat there.
That's where Tyrese used to be.
Yeah, it's like in between Doobies and the Hellman, which are also great places. I mean,
listen, we've talked a lot, haven't we? This has been great. Thank you so much for coming in. Amanda's back next week. Yeah. I'm not back next week. Amanda's back next week with Zach Green, one of the founders of the Bite of Baltimore food tours. For more food fun, sign up for the This Week in Baltimore Eating newsletter at jmoreliving.com. That's jmoreliving.com/newsletters, and Schola
Cooks.com.
ScholaCooks.com.
Yep.
Jerry Pellegrino, thank you so much. It's been great to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Right on.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Ciao.
Oh, wait. Saturday is the running festival.
Yes.
So make sure you look online about street closures
and
because whining about the running festival once it's in progress, that's not cool.
Impossible. Yeah.
It's a big event for the city. Brings people here, and let's celebrate it. You know how I feel about whining. None of that. Be prepared. It's on you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.